Now, I get asked all the time, why would you spend $1,400 on a Glock clone? So, which to me personally, I think is disrespectful to Zev to reduce this to just another Glock clone. So, before I even start the video, let me make sure that it's clear. As always, this is my Zev OZ9c, and this thing is a thing of beauty. Looks good, shoots even better, and worth every penny. I have a Surefire X300 for the light and a RMR up top. All in all, I'm all in at $2,500 on this pistol here. So let me put that down there. So why would somebody spend $1,400 on a Glock clone? Like I said in the beginning, it's disrespectful to Zev to just reduce this to another Glock clone. But I'm gonna try to do my best to explain to anybody who's looking into Zev, or if you're new into guns and you're just wondering if it's worth spending that amount of money on a polymer framed gun. And for this Zev, I would say yes, it's worth every penny. First and foremost, I'll get the easy stuff out of the way that people usually mention about Zevs, is that it's modular. And that's just not a word they're throwing around. It's not just a what do you call it? A word that they're using for marketing or anything like that. It actually truly is modular. The part that's serialized on these Zevs is the chassis frame system that they have. Their FCU, if you will, their control unit. And that's the serialized part. As far as the frame goes, the slide, you can interchange those for other parts if you like. They have gray frames, FDE frames, they have shorty frames, compact frames. This is what they call the X frame. So it's basically a Glock 45 where you have a full-size frame with the Glock length slide, Glock 19 length slide. And as you all know, Glock 45 is my favorite Glock. I think it's the best Glock has ever made. Argue with me in the comments if you want, but to me, Glock 45 is the best Glock out there. And this is basically a souped up Glock 45. Now, with the modularity thing out of the way, it's the small details that make this gun worth the $1,400 that they're asking for it. First and foremost, we're gonna start with taking the gun apart. If you've owned a Glock, you know that taking the Glock apart sometimes can be a pain in the ass, because this little pin thing here sometimes can be a bitch to dig out so that you can take the gun apart. For these Zevs, it is not that way at all. It comes out perfect every time. This little switch here, it doesn't go deep inside the frame like the Glock does sometimes, so you don't have to dig anything out. It's always protruding, and it's always easy process. So I mean, it always goes. So that to me is dope. So I don't have to deal with that annoying little pin here when I'm taking apart the gun. So getting that out of the way. Secondly is the other controls. So let me wipe this down. My hand's sweating, boy. The office is hot as shit right now, so I turned the AC on, but bear with me. But the controls. So when you have a Glock, one of the things I hate the most about stock Glocks is the slide release, the mag release, and the trigger, plus taking apart the Glock. That sucks too. But the slide release always sucks. I always put an extended slide release on all my Glocks as soon as I get it. And with these Zevs, you don't really have to do that. So the slide release is, when it's not in use, it's tucked inside this little wedge here. So if you're a thumbs forward type of shooter person and you're resting your thumb in this little rest area here, you're not going to accidentally hit it or anything like that. It's super flat, non-invasive. Now, when it is in use, it kind of pops out a little bit, and it makes it super easy to reach over and bring that slide forward, and it's perfect every time. So really, really like the slide release, non-invasive when it's not in use, and when you need it, it's there exactly how you want it to be. So like it protrudes and you can't miss that. So like I'm purposely trying to not hit it, but just showing you guys that there's like a little ledge that forms there when it's not in use. And when you're not using it, it's super flat. It's nothing there. So really like the slide release, don't have to switch it out or anything like that, as well as the mag release. So one of the first things I switch out on Glocks as well is the mag release, because it's just not good enough. It's not tall enough. This one is sort of at an angle, and it has this little texture pattern that also is on the back plate, and it's pretty cool, pretty responsive, no complaints there. So those things are great. You don't have to swap that out. Lastly, the trigger. The trigger on these Zevs, it's really good. Nice clean break and a pretty audible reset. No complaints there. Is it a 1911 style trigger? No, but it is way better than a stock Glock, and it's good enough for me that I don't feel as though that I need to switch it out or anything like that. Now, some people will say, if I'm paying $1,400 for a Glock style gun, it better have a perfect trigger from the box. To me, that's the wrong attitude to have. It's kind of like buying a Lambo or buying a GT3 RS or buying a McLaren or anything like that, and you don't like the seats. You can easily spend money and get some aftermarket seats, and you'll be fine. You like what you like. Somebody may be on the outside looking in and saying, well, if you're paying 200 grand for a car, it should come with seats that you like from the get. It just doesn't always work out that way. Is this trigger good enough for what you're paying for? Yes, it is an excellent trigger. It shoots great. Clearly, I haven't swapped it out, and I'm a trigger snob, and I dig it. So no issues with the trigger there. The other thing I really like is the ergonomics and the texturing. They've done a really good job of adding the right texturing exactly where you need it. It's aggressive enough that it's not super harsh if you're EDCing this, but it's good enough that I don't feel the need to put the tape that I usually put on my guns because my hands sweat, because I still get a good grip with the texturing and the ergonomics that they engineered with this gun. With this X grip, my hands kind of melt into the frame. The magwell does its job of containing the whole thing in place, and it's super non-invasive. It's not huge, it's not big, so if you're carrying this, it won't be an issue at all. It kind of blends right in, and it does its job. So super good there. No complaints there. Now, speaking on price, another thing that I think is worth its weight in gold is the manufacturing, the quality, the time that was put into creating this gun, from quality to the design, is worth the money as well. Things that look good cost money. Anything that looks good in our society costs money. If it's premium and it looks good, it should cost money. This is a good looking gun. It's a good looking firearm. Now, I know that some people may say that how a gun looks should not matter as much as its reliability and all this other stuff, and I agree. But if you're spending money on things, I think that asking for something to look good and for you to like how it looks should mean something. It should be worth something. And god damn it, this gun looks good. Anybody that comes across my gun at the range or anything like that, they love the way it looks. They love the way it shoots, feels in the hands, and that is worth something as well. So I just like to add that on there as far as like looks. Some people don't put value on looks, but I do, and I think it's worth that as well. Now, with the slide, I don't use a plate for this because Zev's optic system platform thing is awesome, and the optic sits low enough that I can co-witness with non-suppressor height sights, and that's awesome too. So and their system is great, so like I don't have any issues as far as like re-zeroing and like that. If I have to switch out the battery, which I do once a year, usually when I put the battery back, it's not so much zeroing, it's just reconfirming that it's still zeroed. So that's good as well. Now, like I said in the beginning, all in all, I'm $2,500 ish into this gun, and I have added no external accessories to this gun except for the RMR and the X300. Everything else came with the gun stock, and it runs beautifully. It shoots beautifully. It keeps up with all my other guns that I spent hundreds of dollars into fine tune and all that. My P320s, my CZs, etc., etc. So now I've been carrying this a whole lot lately, and I plan on carrying a whole lot more this year. And I'm digging it. I'm really liking this gun. I'm really liking this platform. Obviously, I think I knew I'd like it because, like I said, I wouldn't say I'm a Glock fanboy, but I really like Glock. And this basically is everything you'd want from a Glock, souped up from the factory. The quality is there, the performance is there, the reliability is there, and it looks good as hell. And like I mentioned about the quality and manufacturing and all that, you get a stainless steel guide rod, you get a dimpled barrel, which is supposed to make it easier to cool down the barrel. Yada yada. You know, I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and talk about the exact sciences, but it's supposed to make it a better shooting gun. It'd be nice if somebody tested this to see if a dimpled barrel does perform better than a non-dimpled barrel, but I don't know about that. It looks good. I can tell that there was time and effort put into this, and the performance, how it performs, it shows that there was some thought put into everything. So if you're on the fence about these Zevs, I say if you can rent one, go ahead and do so. Shoot it. If you have a friend that owns one, go ahead and try to borrow it so you can shoot it and form your own opinions. In my opinion, I think it's worth every penny out of the box, as there's just nothing that comes close to it. As far as the modularity goes, it's super easy to change out the frames. It takes like a minute or two. I'm gonna do a video specifically on the modularity of these Zevs. I'm gonna have my other frames, my FDE, my gray frames, my shorty frame, my comfort, my other frames and slides, and I'll show you guys how easy it is to go from different colors, different sizes, etc., etc. It takes less than 30 seconds to swap out frames and stuff like that. But I'll do a whole video dedicated to just that. I kind of just wanted to go over my thoughts on what I think makes this gun worth the money that they're asking for it. And like I've been saying all video, I think it's worth every penny. If you shot one of these, I think you know what I mean. The quality is there, the reliability is there, it looks good, shoots good. It's really not much else I can say. If you built up a Glock, you'd probably end up spending more than what I spent on this, so which I know happens because I've done it myself. So again, if you're on the fence, take a look at these Zevs. I think it's worth every penny. I'm looking at their hypercomp version. I'm trying to find one and get my hands on one because I really want one. And once I get one, I'll let you guys know what I think about that, and I'll do a video on that as well. So more to come. Wanted to keep this video short, but I think we're at like 12 minutes. These videos are never short. But I appreciate you guys joining on another video. More to come on this Zev. Really liking this journey here that I'm on. Anybody who's just starting out your gun journey, just know that this thing is not linear. There's ups and downs. There's times you think you like something but you really don't. Figure out what you like and build on that. I like Glocks. Glock 45 was my favorite type of Glock, and to build on that, I ended up finding this that is a souped up Glock 45, and for now, this is it for me. I'm digging it. I really like the ergonomics. I really like the style of the frame here, how it's straight up and down, kind of like a 1911 style. And man, I just really like this gun. If you're already invested in Glocks, you can use Glock parts, Glock magazines. So this is a Magpul mag. I can pull out one of my, see if I pull out one of these other Glock mags. This is a Glock 45 mag. Locks the rear, works as intended, and this grip, it just feels amazing. So definitely recommend it. I'd probably give this gun a 9.2 out of 10. Really love it. Definitely recommend it. Any questions, comments, concerns, please leave it down below. I'll see you guys on the next one. And like I said, I plan on having a video with the modularity part, and we'll switch out some frames, give you guys different looks, styles, and yeah, we'll go from there. Appreciate you guys joining. See you guys on the next one. Don't forget to recycle. Be nice to everybody. Be nice to people. Have a great day. Enjoy your Sunday, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Deuces.